Hey yo, what is up guys? Your boy's back and I'm going to be talking about Monday Night Raw for the first time ever on this channel. So that's actually quite, I'm doing a Raw review for this channel. And I really hope the power doesn't go out because the power did just go out here a little bit ago. So please stay on lights. And yeah, so starting off the show, the Bloodline came out, Solo Sikoa, the Usos, and that's all that there was there. No Sami Zayn, no Roman Reigns, no Paul Heyman. The New Day come out. They have a really, really good promo going back and forth on what the record means to them and how, yeah, it was a really, really good back and forth promo between all the pressure that was on each team heading into the match they're going to have on Friday, which I'm also going to review. So, going from there to, they ended up having a match. Matt Riddle came out, and yeah, everyone ended up having a match. I think Solo Sikoa is a future world champion. I really think the guy has what it takes on that main event level scene. And yeah, the Usos, masters of the character. Jey Uso, that massive stoic individual, with Jimmy just kind of yucking it up. And the New Day, still massively over. Matt Riddle, quite over with the audience. Yeah, so sorry my cat's meowing, but yeah, so this is probably the best thing on the show here. And yeah, they had a really good 6-man tag match. So moving on from that, I believe next up was, yes, it was JBL coming out, cutting a really funny promo, talking about how he's from Texas and he wouldn't be caught dead in whatever town they were in. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a really funny promo. I really like having JBL back on these shows. And yeah, so Baron Corbin comes out. I'm actually starting to like this pairing. I think it kind of works. And yeah, Cedric Alexander gets squashed. Does some dive move to the outside, and it gets absolutely no reaction at all. So what was really the point? And why are these guys always doing a million dives every match? So yeah, there was just a squash match to put Baron Corbin over. Next up, Seth Rollins came out for his open challenge that was promoted at the beginning of the show. Next thing you know, the Judgment Day come out. The Judgment Day are probably the de facto number 2 to top heels on the show, so they're always all over these shows, and so they're very, very much used heavily on these shows. And then the OC come out because they're feuding with the Judgment Day. I believe this is all just leading to a feud between Finn Balor and AJ Styles, but they're going to have a match at either Day 1 or a match at Survivor Series, or maybe we get multiple matches. That would be cool too. The OC, they're starting to get a little bit more over. I think someone said that Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows they really, really struggle. They just come off really generic in America, so it's kind of true. They do kind of come off a little bit generic. So yeah, Mia Yim comes out, also got no reaction. No one knew who the fuck she was. So yeah, anyways, but I do like the pairing of putting Mia Yim with them in this feud coming up with Judgment Day. Also, backstage, Rhea had a little bit of a stare down with Bianca Belair, so I believe that's going to be a feud heading forward. They did have a feud in NXT a couple years ago, so yeah, going forward, that's what we got to look forward to with that. And then next up, this match was freaking terrible, was Otis versus Elias. Elias's knees just looked absolutely god-awful. Otis went over. I like Otis. I like Chad Gable, but there's nothing really to say about this. It was just kind of there. What I will say is, so far into the show, everyone looks unique and different from each other. No one really looks the same or acts the same. Yeah, so I would say that's one thing about the show, is all the stars are quite varied. There's quite a bit of variety amongst each star, so that I would say is very interesting, that they do have that. Damage Control came out. They had a segment with Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair. They all had their setup for the War Games. Best part about this was Asuka having her Japanese argument with Io Sky. I mean, is it Shirai? Anyways, whatever. Io Sky is them having their argument in Japanese. So that's cool there. A lot of people want to see that match, and you know what? I'm probably for it. I wouldn't mind seeing that match. But yeah, so set up the War Games match. Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjiman. I think this was pretty quick. It was only 2 or 3 minutes long. Shelton Benjiman getting some TV time And just like that, he's beaten and sent to the back. So won't be seeing any more of him probably for a while. Dusting off the job man, Shelton Benjiman, because he's just not a priority on these shows, which is kind of understandable, but weird at the same time. Anyways, yeah, Austin Theory has apparently lost like 15 weeks straight, which sucks because he was the Money in the Bank holder. We'll get to that. The Miz versus Jonny Gargano. Good match here. I actually really like the match they had. It was just a really fun, entertaining match. Probably the second best match on the show. And yeah, Jonny Gargano, he's doing quite well on the main roster. I'm really quite impressed with him. He's booked quite well. I don't know how far he goes in terms of main events, but I think he could be a solid mid-carder, which I know that probably just freaks a lot of people out, the fact that I even said that. And The Miz is a great mid-card heel. He's just all over these shows. He knows how to cut a promo, has good matches. I really like The Miz. Sometimes I wish he was made to look a little stronger, so that way it would really help out his feuds and stuff, but it is what it is. 2016 Miz is dead, I guess, so whatever. Oh yeah, Dexter Lumis came out. Dexter Lumis is not a very tall guy, so kind of interesting to see where they're going with this whole Dexter Lumis thing. I would like to see him wrestle. I don't know anything about him. Maybe I should check out some of his NXT stuff. Yeah, I just don't know anything about Dexter Lumis. Nikki Cross versus Dana Brooke. Nikki Cross won the 24/7 title and threw it in the trash. Thumbs up for me. Then finally we got to the main event, which was Seth Rollins in the United States Open Challenge. You thought originally it was going to be called out by Mustafa Ali, and then Mustafa Ali got trashed by Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley looked absolutely monstrous here, like he normally does. And then he came down, kicked the shit out of Seth Rollins. Next thing you know, here's where the show will be memorable for, is Austin Theory's failed cash-in. Austin Theory comes out and cashes in on the United States Championship, which was a very, very weird option. Whatever, everyone else cashed in on the world title. I don't understand why Theory didn't just cash in on the world title if he was going to lose anyways, so this just made him look extra, extra stupid. And I like Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory is a really good wrestler. But this whole thing sucked. I mean, the loss to Pat McAfee was kind of stupid, and this was also, like, made him look bad and losing all the time on Raw to just everyone, Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano, just everyone. Yeah. So that was really stupid. Anyway, so we'll talk about the match here. The match starts, and it did have really good drama. Everyone, whenever they do these Money in the Bank cash-ins, they have great drama to them. So Seth Rollins, he kicked out of a pedigree, he kicked out of an A-Town down, he kicked out of a bunch of stuff. So Seth Rollins, I don't know, I think Seth Rollins is the good guy here. He came off like the good guy in this. Bobby Lashley came off like the heel, but it was kind of awesome watching him just destroy Seth Rollins. But still, he did come off like the heel. Austin Theory was the heel, so Seth Rollins all of a sudden is a good guy. When did that happen? Which is weird. Anyways, yeah, so Theory ends up getting laid out by Bobby Lashley on the outside, and then he makes a surprise 9 count back into the ring, which really kind of like surprised me. I'm like, oh, is he not going to make it? Is this how he loses? And then, nope, gets back in the ring, curb stomp from Seth Rollins, and yeah, that is the end of Austin Theory's Money in the Bank title run. And yeah, I guess I do not know what the plan is going forward. I didn't know how they were going to put the belt on him. I didn't know what the plan was. So I guess that, I'd rather have just had him cash in on Roman Reigns and have him lose. That would have been a little bit more entertaining. Have him cash in like December. It would have been a much more entertaining time to do it, but whatever. It doesn't actually, why wouldn't you just wait for War Games? Why wouldn't you just wait, be like, oh, they're going to have a War Games match. Wait and see if the Bloodline are going to be in it. They're pretty heavily promoted. If the Bloodline are in it, then you could maybe pick the bones then. I don't know. Either way, really weird finish. Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley are probably the 2 top stars on Raw. It's kind of what I noticed about watching the show. They really do come off like the biggest stars and most important people on the roster, on the Raw side. So, yeah, not it wasn't the most entertaining show. It'll be remembered just for the main event, really alone. It had two decent to good matches on here. Everything else was kind of forgettable. It was just kind of all filler and setup for the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which is totally fine. I just wish the matches were a little better. But yeah, I had a lot of fun just watching the show and getting ready for my review for it and to come up and just talk about the current day WWE scene and what I think about a lot of these guys. Really only a few of these guys stand out as being able to climb to that next level for me to get to that world title scene. That's Solo Sikoa is really the only guy I saw who's not won a world title but can eventually get to it, was on the undercard of the show. But yeah, I liked Nikki Cross coming back. I think that's really cool. I think she has a really cool look and she's being really unique right now. So those are two really big bright spots for me on this show. Anyways, let me know what you guys all thought of Raw this week. I'll be back with SmackDown. They're doing a World Cup series. And yeah, let me know what you guys all thought. Peace out, guys.